Good morning. My name is Jeroen Spivak. I'm the music director for the Center for Spiritual Living, and I would like to start your morning with a beautiful song. There's a bright golden haze in the meadow. There's a bright golden haze in the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing right up to the sky. And oh, what a beautiful morning! Oh, what a beautiful day! I got a beautiful feeling, everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. They don't turn their heads as they see me go by. And that little brown maverick is winking her eye. And oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling, everything's going my way. All the sounds on the earth are like music. All the sounds on the earth are like music. The breeze is so busy, it don't miss a tree. And that old whipping willow is laughing at me. And oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling, everything's going my way. Sing with me. And oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling, everything's going my way.
And indeed it is all
Thank you.
going your way. I don't know that I've ever fully listened to the lyrics of that song until just now, and it talks about the cow and the maverick and the breeze.
Yeah, life in the South, you know it.
Is that song is from, is it Oklahoma?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I won some points today. I love it.
yes.
That's so fabulous. Well, good morning, Yaron.
Good morning.
And how are you today?
I am well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's so good to see you today. And welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, right?
The Virtual Center, thank you. Good
Virtual
to be
Center,
here.
exactly. I believe this is our last Sunday with you before you depart on to your big summer adventure in Provincetown, correct?
Yes, 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 you're correct.
Good. Well, I'm so glad you're here. I know you've got some beautiful music planned for us, and I look forward to sharing that with you.
Thank you.
In a
Same
bit.
here.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. I'm the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. And as Yaron said, we welcome you into our virtual space for our Sunday morning celebration. And I know that through the power of affirmation and technology and the mystical nature of spirit itself, we all connect to where we are in this perfect place right now, right here and right now, and can feel the presence of that power that exists within us. That when we declare, oh, what a beautiful morning, we feel the transformation that is taking place within us in this very moment. Because that is indeed the way, the essence of the spirit that we're imbued with works. And so if you're joining us through YouTube and or through Zoom and or at a later date, just know that exactly where you are in this very moment is the perfect and right place to connect to the divine within you, because it's always there. And it's through the conscious awareness that we get to experience more and more of it. So welcome and good morning, if it's morning where you are. I'm going to put on the screen our welcoming slides to move us into this phase of our service this morning. Zoom's doing something a little funky. There we go. And so we come together as the Center for Spiritual Living at Los Angeles, where our vision statement for our community is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. A big hello to each and every one of us, and I invite us to acknowledge this power within, as I said earlier, as we can see it in our mind's eye and oftentimes in our philosophy, faith, and way of life. We're taught to believe that we access this through the upper portion of our brain. We are taught that because the terminology that we use is mind. We typically associate our mind with our brain. It's something different, but for visual purposes, I invite us all to begin to feel that place within our mind, our brain, where we are receptive to truth, receptive to being, receptive to connection, and to use that connection in a way to honor each other by placing our hands over our heart, taking a deep breath in, exhaling, and just leaning forward, saying namaste. The power, the divine, the source of all within me honors and acknowledges that within you. We are a community that welcomes all into our space. We teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. Its core is that there's only one thing happening in the universe. That's one power. That it matters not what we call it. We oftentimes call it God, but we call it source. We call it the thing itself. We call it the one life. And that you and I get to experience it and express it by means of our thinking, our believing, our actions, our reactions, our interactions with the very thing itself. We practice tuning into its qualities of peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom through those actions of mind and our humanity. And in practicing this way of thinking, fine tuning our thinking to reflect our divinity, we get to experience more of it because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law. In other words, it reflects back to us the totality of our thinking, believing, acting, reacting, interacting with the very thing itself. Consciousness, if you will. And so we support everyone in living out our vision statement, which is, once again, supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. I invite you to open up to that awakening today as we move into an experience of knowing who we are. We are a community that has come together for over 30 years of purporting and projecting good on this planet. We do that individually as well as collectively. Once again, we do that by constantly coming together in community, by consistently reframing the way that we think and how that we respond to life. Our original statement, vision statement 30 years ago, was making a difference. We still live by that creed of wanting to make a difference on our planet as we continue on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Today, I invite each of us to be open to a spiritual awakening. I know that for myself, one of the great ways to do that is through the act of ritual, but not allowing it to be rote, to allow myself to remember that each time I participate in a ritual, that I tap upon the consciousness by which I experienced it before. And it's through that act of experiencing it before that I get to use my mind, my being, my sense of awareness in a new way and open to a greater experience and expression of the very thing itself. The ritual that we open with on the Sunday morning is called Calling in the Light. I invite us all to look at the candle lit orb on the screen and allow the flickering flame of this orb to be a reminder to each of us of the light that exists within all of life itself. Exists within you and exists within me. This ritual is called Calling in the Light. I invite us all to constantly direct our mind to a state of receptivity. Let go of an attachment that we hear it almost every Sunday. But just like I heard the lyrics of the song, "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning," completely new this morning as if it was the first time, I invite us all to do the same with this ritual of calling in the light. Today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence which we call Spirit. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. And so as we feel the vibrations shift during this experience, may we each become ever more aware of the light of life that exists in and as all expressions of life, which includes you and includes me. This week, in watching some of the activities that are taking place on our planet through the G7 meeting, I thought of the different individuals that came together in this meeting that have potentially different spiritual and religious belief systems. It reminded me of the flames of faith of this ritual, and I invite us to open ourselves to hear it anew today. And so we metaphorically light the candle on the orb that we looked at a moment ago. And we do so for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way, and for all that practice it. We also light it for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. And for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. As well as for Judaism, and honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. And inclusive of all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We also light it for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. And all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. And for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. It's that which we practice here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. Sorry, I knocked my microphone over. And finally, we bring it all together by lighting this same candle, this metaphorical candle, this orb of light, and call it the healing candle. Ask you all to take a moment and think of someone that you would like to silently or audibly put into the light of the healing flame, which may include yourself, so that all may experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine. Let's close with this prayer of, may the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you, the individual, by night. May the rain wash away your worries, and may the breeze blow new strength into your being. May you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life. In our teaching and philosophy, we know that affirmation is an important piece to our evolution. So I invite us all to say out loud in regards to the shamanic and prayer that we just stated. I accept this Apache blessing. I receive this Apache blessing. And I believe that it is indeed in play in my life right now. To complete our ritual, Yaron's going to come on the screen and take us through our song, Calling in the Light.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. I am love, I am peace in my heart, I am free, I am spirit, I am soul, all together. Oh, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light, oh love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light of love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And so it is. Love that beautiful track in the background.
Thank you.
There's a little zippy dance move to it. Right? So you have another song for us. You want to share with us the title and why you chose it?
Yeah, of course. I think the topic for today is the day, and I wrote the song. Actually, it was one of the first day for the pandemic, and uh, I thought about like today is the day to be present. Today is the day to bring good to the world, and if I believe that all will be good today, all will be good today.
Oh, I love it. Well, we all look forward to hearing it.
All right.
Cool. Yaron Spivak.
Today will bring us warmth and grace, virtues of love. A mother's embraced the strength to smile, wash off the pain. All will be good today. Remind us when the good did win. No matter how dark will thicken our skin, a ray of warmth will touch within. All will be good today. I'm not afraid of darkness before, being through riches and through poor, not to lose sight of what's in store. I'll repeat, all will be good today. Time will pass, but also heal. We mustn't ignore history's wheel and know that it's okay to feel. All will be good today. All will be good. All will be good today.
Fabulous. And it has even more meaning knowing that you wrote it at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a way to let out my feelings.
Yeah, and it prompted within me a time of reflection back to those days when there was chaos and uncertainty, and yet we all knew that it was we needed to turn within and let wisdom guide us, and also tap into the creative energy of life itself. So
Thank you. And I have to mention that the lyric is mine. The composition is a friend collaboration with Gordon Goodwin. So
Gordon Goodwin.
yes.
Wow. When I said wow, I had a friend that married a man by the name of Gordon Goodwin years ago. Years ago. Anyway, happy birthday, your own.
Oh,
It's your
thank
birthday
you.
this week, I believe. So happy birthday. So
Thank you. Two
all
days
right,
ago.
thank you. Say what?
2 days ago. Thank you.
Okay, well, yeah.
I know. Still at 40th. I know
Well,
it's a big
at
deal.
this number, you get to celebrate for a month. So,
Perfect.
all right, sounds good. Thank you, your own. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
So with his Euron's lead into that song, it really prompted me to tap into even more the reason why we propagate and continue our theme for the month of May, which is today is the day. It, as I just stated with Euron, it causes me to hearken back to those days when we were dealing with such uncertainty and energy coming at us that we weren't sure of in regards to life and what was unfolding. And yet, it was incumbent upon us to rely upon that which we intuitively and innately knew. Today, for our message, I'm going to use our New Thought text for the day as a guide for a stimulus of a bit of spontaneity and to take us on a journey of a message that's being called forth from within, of that reliance upon that which exists within us. And so off we go of today is the day. I'll share with you this concept of today is the day, and the statement itself, the affirmation really, was taught to me by a teacher I had and studied with many years ago, Fred Wilson. His whole philosophy was that opportunity is everywhere, I mean, which what we call source, but opportunity to not only draw into our world that which we desire to experience in physical form, but also the ability to tap into the peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love that is all there within us as our divine nature. The key to it is by changing our thinking so that we may change our life, by making it a declarative statement in any moment of today is the day I open myself to a greater experience. Today is the day I let spirit guide me. Today is the day that I know that all is well in my world. This is a result of choosing to embrace the spiritual maturity that we all have, that is a result of whatever amount of work we've done to understand and realize that we play a vital role in the co creation of the experience that we have in life. My first New Thought text is actually from today's New Thought text, and it's this: the key to spiritual maturity is to approach life's challenges from the inside out. This means to quiet our mind, listen to the inner voice of wisdom, aka intuition, and make decisions accordingly. The next step is to proceed with a depth of faith and revel in the outcome. Life is good and you are good in it. The pieces of this that are important are of equal importance, which is the aspect of leaning into the spiritual maturity that we each have and we have collectively, meaning our understanding of the spiritual nature of life itself. To know that when we get quiet, that inner voice of wisdom will rise up and make itself known to us. We've all had moments when our intuition has spoken to us or acknowledged within us a direction to take or nudged us in some decision to make. The key to that is listening to it and then let it guide us. And then to move forward with faith, meaning a belief that we are indeed living with a power, a creative power that is an impersonal, infinite power. It's that which is within us, not in some long off distant place passing judgment. I know that this is a concept that we've heard many, many, many times, but I truly believe that it requires being tended to again, to look at it with a fresh lens, to open ourselves up to redefining through experience and maturity and wisdom the power itself for us. Our second quote from a New Thought text comes from a ministerial colleague of mine whose name is Angelica Jane Taggart. And this is what was written regarding this. The worst thing we ever did was put God in the sky out of reach, pulling the divinity from the leaf, sifting out the holy from our bones, insisting God isn't bursting dazzlement through everything we've made a hard commitment to see as ordinary, stripping the sacred from everywhere to put in a cloud man elsewhere, prying closeness from your heart. The worst thing we ever did was to take the dance and the song out of prayer, make it sit upright and cross its legs, removed it of rejoicing, wiped clean its hip sway, its questions, its ecstatic yowl, its tears. The worst thing we ever did is pretend God isn't the easiest thing in this universe, available to every soul in every breath. A poem by Shalon Harkin. I hope that this speaks to you in the way that it speaks to me, to realize the worst thing we ever did was to place that power outside of ourselves. To remember that it's within every element of the fabric of our being. And then to pray as it, in song, in dance, rejoicing and glorifying and magnifying, as we learned last Sunday, to give rejoicing energy to that which is worthy of being rejoiced. Why is that? It's through that act of rejoicing in it, of dancing with it, of singing with it, that the ecstatic energy of the very thing itself comes alive within us. And because we know that energy begets energy and attracts energy, we attract back into our world a very thing of what it is. And then it perpetuates itself. It's being able to use ourselves as an influence and directive on the energy itself so that no matter what's going on in the external, we can indeed declare today is the day, rejoice in that, and have fun in the energy of experiencing, expressing the very thing that gives us the opportunity to experience and to express it. Remember, that opportunity is indeed everywhere. And so, the invitation that I have for us, and this poem has for us, is to begin to see it everywhere, to begin to feel it everywhere, to begin to express it everywhere as the oneness that it is. Mystical in nature, if you will. Andrew Harvey tells us that the mystical experience is always available, like the divine grace it is, to any who really want it, and all human beings are given in the course of their lives glimpses into the heart of the real, which they're free to pursue or forget. I truly believe that we all have these mystical experiences. We have these moments of tuning into the oneness of life itself, whether that's through our daily movement in the journey of our own finding personal self empowerment and through spiritual awakening, or in the moments of dream, or in the moments of feelings. It's about connecting to the grace of the divine, that divine grace that is forever unfolding around us, through us, is us. It's the glimpse into the heart, the love of the thing itself. And then we have the opportunity in that moment to pursue it or forget it. Today, I invite us all to invite back into the journey of our life the remembrances that we've had of the interconnectedness of life itself, of the mystical nature of life itself, of the continuity of the heartbeat of life. It's that which, in this teaching, we call God. It's vibrating around us, through us, it's everywhere. There's frequencies of these facets of the energy happening everywhere. Through the post of astronomy passengers, Samantha Case had posted, and we've used a portion of this in our daily text, this reminder that I love to read so that it is a reminder to us of all that's going on around us. The human eye can only see between 430 and 770 THz, tegahertz, I believe it is. Sorry for not researching that. Our ears can only detect sound between 20 Hz and 20 kHz. These ranges make up a fraction of the total sound and light frequency range. This means that there's a lot going on around us and through us that we're unaware of. What if we were to imagine, just in this very moment, all of the different energy fields that are happening around us that we're not tuning into with the human eye, we're not hearing with the human ear. But because it's all interconnected, that we can open ourselves up, as the Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith says, to let the ear behind the ear hear it, to let the eyes behind the eye see it, to let the heart behind the heart feel it. It's through this opening that that mystical nature of the oneness itself begins to speak to us, that we begin to acknowledge that what we are seeing is only one piece of all that there is. I love to take myself on this journey of looking out the window, and I've said this before, where I see the trees and I think of the energy field behind the trees, and I see the leaves that are on the trees, and the leaves are attached to the limb, and the limb is attached to the tree, and the tree is attached to its roots, and the roots go down into Mother Earth, and it goes on and on and on and on. And that's just what we can imagine, that's tangible, that we can see. That's not even giving light, if you will, to the energy that's pulsating behind all of it so that it may be alive. And that multi-dimensionality goes on and on and on and on and on. The teacher that I spoke of earlier, Fred Wilson, addressed this in a different way. And he says, at its most fundamental level, the universe is composed of pure energy. Being of common composition, everything in the universe is interconnected and therefore in some way interactive. Let's take that in for a second in a new way. That at its most fundamental level, the universe is composed of pure energy. We know that. It's true. Then he goes on to say, and because it's of common composition, everything then is interconnected and therefore in some way interactive. Universal energy is continuously recomposing itself in varying states, and as a result, change is constantly occurring. That's heavy and heady, and yet we can break it down logically. Change is constantly happening. We know that. It's happened in the last 8 seconds, the last 30 seconds, the last minute. It goes on and on and on and on. But let's look at that not solely just from the lens or the mindset of the effect of that change, and to not only look at it from the source of the cause of that change, but give ourselves permission to imagine all of the pieces that are moving of this common compositional energy that is interconnected and interactive, and that as it's continuously composing and recomposing itself into various different states, that is what is the cause, even though I said excuse the cause for a moment, but the energy that is giving way to change. Imagine that happening just alone within our body. Just our body, right now. You are looking at me. I'm seeing you, even though I don't see you. I see your names. I know all of your faces. I can imagine what you look like in front of me right now as a tangible physical manifestation of this interactive, interwoven energy itself, the thing itself. And where did we come from? And what's going on within us? I love this quote regarding that was attached to an image from the Hubble telescope. And I haven't fact checked this, but I like to use it as if it's true and listen to it and begin to see my body and yours as well from this perspective. You, the being, the human, are comprised of 84 minerals, 23 elements, and 8 gallons of water spread across 38 trillion cells. You've been built up from nothing by the spare parts of the earth you've consumed, according to a set of instructions hidden in a double helix and small enough to be carried by a sperm. You are recycled butterflies, plants, rocks, streams, firewood, wolf fur, and shark teeth, broken down to their smallest parts and rebuilt into our planet's most complex living thing. You're not living on Earth, you are Earth. Aubrey Marcus. Carl Jung goes on to tell us, well, nature is not matter only, she's also spirit. I love this because we can consciously believe that we are all of these components that have recycled, repositioned, reconfigured, recomposed themselves into matter, that is our skin, And the only way that we can process that and experience that is because of the spirit of life that has indeed animated us as a being. Today is the day to begin to think about our divine nature and ourselves in a new way. Today is the day to open up to a new perspective in regards to this interconnected, interwoven power that is being you and being me. How do we grow from here? How do we give ourselves permission to use these new perspectives in a way to propagate the good that is in our life and to make a difference in our life? Well, Deepak Chopra tells us this is how we do it. He says, our thoughts and beliefs are the seeds of our life. Let us choose ideas that nourish our soul and let the law of life do its part. Inherent in every intention and desire is the mechanics for its fulfillment. We're being told to set the intention for a new, more expanded way of being, and to then let the law of life do its part. Now, the challenge for most of us is that we do that and we immediately want results, which are certainly possible. But it's also important that being spiritually mature, to learn patience, to learn trust, to learn faith in this journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, to be kind and gentle with ourselves as we begin to engage in a new perspective in regards to the interwoven, interactive nature of life itself, to doing what we can to nurture this recomposing energy of wolf fur and shark teeth and dying transformative leaves of the most beautiful trees. Dr. Carol Carnes, a wise soul, tells us important to be patient on our journey. She says, patience is the willingness to be still while things unfold. Patience is the result of spiritual understanding, knowing there is pervasive intelligence present at all times in all people. That's a hard one to grasp, right? Patience, she says, is having faith in the natural evolution of awareness. Could be a tattoo, that last statement. Patience is having faith in the natural evolution of awareness or consciousness. I often tell us that the journey here for us is one where we're being called to become more and more tuned into our awareness of the unfolding of the thing itself. I'm going to reread this by Dr. Carnes. Patience is the willingness to be still while things unfold. Patience is the result of spiritual understanding, knowing there is pervasive intelligence present at all times in all people. Patience is having faith in the natural evolution of awareness. I'm sure many of you, much like me, have challenges with patience at times. So we're called on this journey to be patient, to set the intention, to listen to our intuition, to consciously influence energy, to be present, to open ourselves up to a greater acceptance and understanding and participation in the oneness of all, and to breathe, and to trust, and to grow. But it's important to listen to that voice on the journey. This quote tells us this, and I love it. And the photo and the quote put behind it, which I think Robert did in the New Thought text, so I'm not sure it's actually the person that stated the quote, but here it is. And it's the next tool for us on this journey. Never discredit your gut instinct. You're not paranoid. Your body can pick up on bad vibrations. If something deep inside of you says something is not right about a person or a situation, trust it. We're being told here that as we indeed honor and acknowledge the oneness and the goodness and the faith of the natural evolution of all and the pervasive intelligence that exists in all, there's also a guide within us that is telling us when to move towards something and when to move away from it. When there's good vibrations and that which is not good. That patience doesn't mean to be a spiritual doormat, in other words. To be a conscious, engaged influencer, and I kind of use that term intentionally, in regards to how our life exists and how we show up in that life. One of the things that we're taught in our teaching is the use of affirmations. And I think it's really important, as I shared earlier, that concept of the affirmation of today is the day, fill in the blank, that we can indeed direct our awareness of our awareness so that we tune into a higher idea and bring forth through us a co-creation of the life that we desire to experience, while all the time that can be unfolding on top of a consciousness and awareness that is expanding and growing by going deeper and deeper and deeper into our soul. A text for the day that was an affirmation that I wrote is this, and I invite us all to use it. Today is the day I open to a new awareness of Source. I feel its presence in the totality of my being. I receive the miracles unfolding in my life right now. I radiate at a higher vibration, for blessings are ever present in my life. For this and more, I am grateful. And so it is. Let's hear that again. Today is the day I open to a new awareness of Source. I feel its presence in the totality of my being. I receive the miracles unfolding in my life right now. I radiate at a higher vibration. Blessings are ever present in my life. For this and more, I am grateful. And so it is. As you and I continue on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, affirmations such as this and others are critical tools in these awakenings that we have, in this remembrance that we live in an infinite sea of consciousness awaiting our recognition of it. And to use affirmations like this in the morning when our consciousness or awareness is at one state, midday when it's in a different, and as we go to bed at night when it's in a different as well. It's a great use of it for the purpose of letting it be a barometer of where we're at in the evolutionary process of our consciousness, with the intention and desire to forever be growing and evolving and expanding and tuning into a higher vibration. To make a commitment to be wiser, to be kinder, to be more compassionate, to be more loving as the day progresses and the week progresses, the month, and indeed our life. I love this quote from Deepak Chopra, which continues to import to us an expansiveness on our growth. I love it, this instruction, as it prompts us to use our sense of self-inquiry as we continue on our journey. He says, every time you're tempted to react in the same old way, ask if you want to be a prisoner of the past or a pioneer of the future. I know and affirm for each of us, we desire to be a pioneer of the future, one who's willing to be an adventurer in our life and our thinking and our mindset. That none of us really want to be a prisoner of the past, but it's important for us to remember that for that to happen, we must indeed consciously and purposefully pay attention to what's going on in our consciousness, to listen to the guidance that we're being given, to make decisions as to how we want to use our mind, to be patient in the unfolding of what's happening, while having deep, deep, deep faith. One of our New Thought texts for the day also presented us with this, which is called 6 Ethics of Life. I think it's a great framework for us to live by on this journey. And I'll read them to you now. Before you pray, believe. Before you speak, listen. Before you spend, Earn before you write. Think before you quit. Try, and before you die, live. A reminder to us all that we are a critical piece in this co-creative process in our lives. That we are the individuals that get to determine what vibrational frequency we're putting out in life. What frequency are we tuning into in this multi-dimensional universe and attracting back into our world reflections of that? It's important for us to remember to choose our vibrations. Ernest Holmes tells us this: we are all spiritual and mental broadcasting stations. There's a silent force flowing from us in every direction at all times. How necessary it is that we assume the role of the announcer and the broadcaster. How necessary it is that we write our own program and deliver it ourselves. Ernie's telling us, let's begin to think anew for ourselves. Let's not be the victim of race mind consciousness that's going on and so prevalent in the world today. To tune into the frequency that we desire to emit to the world and announce it and broadcast it and share it. To write our own program, our own story for our own lives, and then deliver it ourselves. We do that as a result of our own self-awareness. Who we know ourselves to be, both humanly, all of that energy that's comprised together physically as matter, and as a divine being. We are one with the one, as well as individualized expressions of that which is. So today, not only shall we change our thinking together, but let's raise it. The great David Hawkins, in The Pathway to Surrender, says this in regards to this topic: self-awareness is increased much more rapidly by observing feelings rather than thoughts. The thoughts associated with even one feeling may run in the thousands. Understanding the underlying emotion and its correct handling is more rewarding and less time-consuming. So today, let's tune into our feelings of our own self-awareness, no matter how they may be. Allow ourselves to feel them, and then to tune into the feeling of love. The self-givingness of spirit, whose desire is to create more of itself out of itself, and it does that through you and through me. And so today, let's know who we are and what we are. One of our texts was also from the great David Aurelio. And it's this: in case no one told you today, and I invite you all to hear this and know it for yourselves, you're beautiful, you're loved, you're needed, you're alive for a reason, you're stronger than you think, you're going to get through this, I'm glad you're alive, don't give up. Today is the day that we get to grow together. In closing, I'm going to share with us a today is the day affirmation that I used from one of our daily texts as well. Today. May today be the day where there's peace within. May today be the day that we trust our higher power to guide us forward. May today be the day that we remember the possibilities that are born out of faith and trust. And may today be the day that we pass our gifts on to others freely and lovingly. May today be the day that we be more conscious in honoring our divinity. And may today be the day where there is peace within. Namaste. Thank you. And fully live your day. For today is the day. Thank you. Yaron's going to come back and sing a song for us about today.
Here we go. but they're gonna throw it back to you. By now, you should somehow realize what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the boys on the street, that the fire in your head is out. I'm sure you had it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us, they're blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonder. Today was gonna be the day, but they never throw it back to you. By now, you should somehow realize what you wanna do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads that lead us, they're winding. And all the lights that lead us, they're blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. But after all, you're my wonder. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. But after all, you're my wonderwall. Today was gonna be the day.
Such a cool song.
Thank you.
Not so cool, but clear about that. Today's the day you're going to be the one to save me concept, but I love the overall lyrics and the energy behind it.
Thank you.
Who wrote it originally?
It's Oasis,
Oh,
back from the 2000s.
I don't know who that is. Oasis. So cool. Fantastic. Are you getting excited about your upcoming summer journey?
Yeah, very much so. New scenery
Uh-huh.
right by the ocean. Yeah, it's
It's
gonna be
so
great.
beautiful there. Yes. So fantastic. Well, great. Great, great, great. Thank you for being here today. And
Thank you, of
we're so
course.
excited for you for that. For that, you're going to see Todd and Jonathan and all kinds of people there, right? It's going to be a big summer in Provincetown.
Yes, big gay summer.
Well, I think that goes without saying in Provincetown. So for sure, for sure. Well, thank you. A big thank you to Robert as well, Robert Hensley today for supporting us, and to Travis Smith today for taking care of our audio needs. And a big thank you to each one of you for being here today, supporting our community known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. Speaking of support, I'm going to place on the screen the options to support us financially. You can go to our website, CSL, went back one too many. Go to our website, csl-la.org, and click on the donate button, and that will give you the option to support us and know that that is greatly appreciated. Also, you can go to our app in the App Store, Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. Click on the upper left bars and the screen will come up. You can see the Donate tab, or you can mail in a check to our home at 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California, 90038. And so let's all take a moment to do that and support our community. Your own will come on the screen and take us through our conscious giving song of Love is My Decision.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, Source will show me how. Love is my decision, yeah, my decision, right here, right now.
And so it is. I want to remind you that we have midweek meditations that take place on Wednesday morning between 8:30 and 9 a.m. Pacific time. You can find that information on our website or here. You can zoom in on that. It's a wonderful a way to connect on Wednesday mornings at 8:30 to usually runs between 8:30 and 8:50. You can access that and all other information through our website, CSL-LA.org, and that will give you an update as to what's taking place. Our next in-person service is June 11th, which I believe is, no, it's not Father's Day, but June 11th is when we'll all be together again. And so please make plans to do that. We have a weekly e-newsletter that goes out first part of each week. If you'd like to receive that in your not, you can sign up for that on our website, as well as find us on all of the social media sites, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, as well as our new thought for the day that goes out each morning at 7:30. A big thank you for being here today. Once again, know that where and who you are is the perfection of love, and that the grace of the divine is making itself known to you, through you, right now. Without further ado, let's close with a prayer and a meditation. And so let's know together that good is being made manifest by means of each one of us. This is a spiritual reality. So we have the opportunity before us to propagate that good. We do that in how we show up in life, how we give of ourselves, how we live, how we love, how we receive, and how we honor the thing itself. So we do that by knowing together that today is the day, which is a declarative in regards to this block of time known as 24 hours. But more importantly, it's a reset of mind. And so we fill in the blank behind today is the day with words of love, of compassion, of support, of givingness, of forgiveness, of evolutionary thinking, and of self-acceptance. We each indeed matter on this planet. And so we live accordingly, letting it be as we say together, Amen. And so it is. We're going to sign off from YouTube right now, so have a fantastic day, those of you that are joining us from YouTube. And if you're on Zoom with us, we're going to say hello to each other in just a moment. Thanks.